The socialist Marxist element has always been a destructive force in the politics of Grenada. If you pay attention and you're observant, you will realize that there is nothing progressive about the socialist Marxist element in Grenadian politics. Grenada finds itself in a very unique position because the Grenadian socialist Marxist is actually a masquerader. They're not socialist Marxists. Actually, they are the ultimate capitalists. So the socialist Marxist masquerade is used many a times to deceive, to distract. They are actually snake oil salesmen. They are actually sellers of sweet water tea, sugar water tea. And they will tell you that that tea is actually bush tea and it will cure every illness on earth. They will use the charlatanistic voodoo doctrine and they will tell you, this is what they will tell you. They will tell you, give me your youth, give me your young men and women. Their doctrine will be used to corrupt them. And it's usually used to create scapegoats for the frustrations of the youth. The same youth who may have economic deprivation. The same youth who may have economic issues and can't find creative ways to get out of those economic issues. But if you observe and you take a deep look, you will realize that the Grenadian youth achieves the greatest potential when they are unencumbered by socialist Marxist indoctrination. As I have said, the socialist Marxist element will use their theories and their ideas as a distraction. And again, remember, they themselves are not socialist Marxists. They're actually the ultimate capitalists. They are masqueraders. They are pretentious. And it's a ruse. And I'll explain to you how the ruse works. While they're trying to discourage you from working hard and strapping your boots up and go out and get yours, they are going out and get theirs. So you don't become a competition to them. That's what it's all about. It's a trick. It is actually a strategy to prevent you from putting your best foot forward and going and get yours. So that way you don't come and compete with them. They want you to be waiting on the sidelines for a little bit of scraps from their table. In their words, it's actually a ruse to protect their privileged positions. Okay? That's what it is about. I hope you see through all of this. And if you just observe how things work, you realize, hey, wait, these guys are playing games with me. Because there's so many people that I grew up with, men, women, who were in difficult situations when they were growing up. And I'm so proud and I'm so happy to see the things that they have done with themselves. They have made amazing progress. Okay? These are people who are able to build homes, okay, raise families, and have a comfortable life. How did they achieve that comfortable life? Not succumbing to some socialist Marxist doctrine. Quite to the contrary. They decided to strap their boots up, work hard, okay, and go get theirs. And with the belief in mind that nothing is standing in their way, okay? Nothing is standing in their way and nothing can stop them. That is what allowed them to achieve the things that they achieve today. And to the youth, I want you to understand, and some of them are your parents. I know them, okay? And I know situations they were in. And today, the amazing work that they did for themselves, to elevate themselves, to try to provide a better life for you. And for you now to listen to people who are trying to lead you astray. And for you now to get caught up in political rhetoric. That, my friend, is not it. It's definitely not it. If you need heroes and you want to find out about a path to success, look at your parents. These people are dividers. They will pit the youth against the elders. They'll pit young against old, and they will break the backs of the middle class. The backbone of the society, the people who are working extremely hard, maintaining the society, they will break their backs. They will make rash and impulsive decisions and talk nonsensical rhetoric, okay, to erode and destroy everything that you've worked to build over the years. In a split second, it could be gone because of irrational, impulsive decisions and nonsensical rhetoric. All that you've worked hard for can be eroded in a heartbeat. And for all they talk about proletariat and middle class, they care nothing about the middle class and they care nothing about the proletariat. They're trying to use, okay? They're trying to use the poor and struggling and the working class for their own elevation, okay? They're using you for their elevation. And you have to see through this. You have to look at the history of Grenada. You have to look at Grenada. The way Grenada developed is because young men and women and people of all ages, some of them traveled, worked their asses off, and came back and built the society. Some of them stayed right in the society, maintained, okay, and struggled through the years and then elevated themselves, okay, by their hard work. That is how Grenada was built. But they would lie to you and they will have you believe that this socialist Marxist revolution of 4 years is responsible for everything that Grenada has achieved. It's total BS and hogwash. It's a lie, a despicable lie, okay? It is anything but. Quite to the contrary, much of what they achieved, it's been 40 years, okay? So let's give them 5 out of the 40 years. And that 5 years out of the 40 years, I'm giving it to them in addition to the 5 years they had, because I'm saying, okay, that 5 years out of the 40 years, there'll be a period of transition. You know, it takes a little while to get things going. You know what I'm saying? Let's give them 5 years out of the 40 years, okay? So Grenada was built 35 years. 35 years. They had 5 years, okay? What did they do? They'll have you believe that it was some glorious revolution. They'll have you believe that it was some markedly brilliant economy. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. They're not going to tell you the truth. The reason the revolution failed, the reason that it imploded is because there was an economic crisis towards the end of it. That's the reason it imploded. And guess what happened? A little pressure was added to them by an economic crisis. And what did they do? They turned against each other. Okay? They turned against each other and literally ate each other alive. So much for the glorious revolution. And then they come and they tell you about some market. Oh, the international airport. Oh, we built the airport. Well, I hope you looked at my videos because I've dispelled that myth already. Okay? That is their crown jewel. Oh, we built the airport. Again, I'll remind you, the airport was a collaborative effort. Let no one fool you. For all the things they have said about Sir Eric Matthew Geary, for all they have said, guess what? 28 schools in 13 years. That is 2 schools, an average of 2 schools per year. No other government has ever even done that or even came close. And you need to talk to individuals. Some of these people are friends. Some of these people I know personally. Talk to these people. Okay? And they'll tell you the true story. They may not tell you the true story in public. But talk to them personally. Pull them aside. And they'll tell you the true story. So I will tell them, don't be pissed at me for telling the truth. If you believe that what I am saying is untrue, then go ahead. There's social media platforms all over the place. Put yours up and tell the truth. Tell your truth. Tell your perspective. Do that. I mean, come on. You think that these little private and these little soldiers could have working for $200, $250 or $300 could have built wealth with that? You think they could have run a family with that? No. You think we don't know about the stories? You think we don't know that by the time they get a little $200 or $250, they have to pay it off to the canteen? Or their money would run out and there was a certain lieutenant who was who was never a party or anything like that. They'll run to him for a couple of dollars to sustain him until the next check? Come on, man. Come on. You think we don't know the stories? You think anything they achieved in the 5 years of revolution, and I say I'm giving them 5, you think anything they achieved could be compared to what was achieved in 35 years subsequently? Do you believe there's any comparison? Do you people understand? Because some of you may not understand. Some of you are young. But we understand a Grenada from 1979 and before to a Grenada now. We have seen the infrastructural changes. Okay? We were alive. So we have a reference point. We can compare. And a lot of the things that you're enjoying right now, it's not because of some glorious revolution. Quite to the contrary. But their ego, the inflated ego would have you believe that everything that was built in Grenada was built from 79 to 83. Everything in Grenada was built from 79 to 83. The only reason that period of time is talked about so much is because of the tumultuous experiences of 79 and the horrible, tragic experience of 83. If that was a period of relative peace, trust me, nobody would even be speaking about it. Like so many other years of politics that went subsequently. You think people remember every 4 years of politics post 83? The times of relative peace and calm? Most people don't even remember it because it was relative peace and calm. Post-revolution, that 35 years post-revolution, okay? The amount of people that I know personally, okay, who have elevated themselves beyond imagination. Because at the time, you would have believed, oh my God, these people, probably they wouldn't get to that level. And today you can look at them. Some of them are friends, okay? Some of them are top directors and managers of banks and stuff like that, okay? Some of them are lawyers, doctors, engineers. People I know personally are friends. Ask them how they did it. You think they did it because of some glorious revolution? You see, that's the thing about it. All these socialists, Marxists, and so forth, and their likes depend on is charity. And once that charity is gone, they don't understand creativity. They don't know how to create economies. And they'll go on to tell you about the glorious canon of fruits and veggies and stuff like that. Guess what? Look at Jamaica. Jamaica needed a revolution to do that. Now, matter of fact, when we are younger, people sell you the little fudge and the sugar cake and this and that in a little tray and in a little glass jar, and they'll take out one and give it to you in a little grease-proof paper. But guess what? Okay? Time has passed and people, localized people, just regular people, can package their stuff in fancy packages. And they didn't need a government to do that for them. There are people right now. Now you can get your tamarind wall well packaged with a label and everything like that. You don't need a government to do that for you. That is people, individuals with amazing ambition, self-drive to do those things. And they did those things. I'll tell you a story. I remember I used to always get my little fudge. People might not know about that, but some people might know about it. And I used to walk up with my grandmother, okay, along the seaside. And there used to be a lady standing there every single day at that junction where you cross to go into River Road, okay? And I would buy my little candy from her with my grandmother on the way up, okay? That used to be a beautiful experience. I'm just giving you a little beautiful experience I had as a kid. You see what I'm saying? So, and they would sell it out of a little jar, a little tray or something like that. But look today, people of their own initiative and self-drive, okay, can package the sugar cake candy, can package a coconut candy. You understand? Can package a chip and stuff like that with nice little packages. Did they need a government to tell them to do that? No. Their drive, their ambition. Some of them traveled. Some of them saw different things. Some are able to call their friends out in United States or some other country and say, oh, send me this so I can package this and stuff like that. They didn't need a government to do that for them. As for these socialist Marxists, all they know how to do is to be predatory and live off of another economy. Okay? And charity. They don't create anything. You have seen it all over the world. Socialist Marxist economies have imploded, have been destroyed. And today, they will point to some of these countries that used to be socialist Marxists and obviously, for their own survival, has made the great transition to basically a capitalist economy with a bit of political, socialist Marxist politics. And they've done great. They've done excellent. They're becoming booming economies. and they'll point to them and they'll still label them as socialist Marxists. Say, look, the socialist Marxists are doing really great all over the world. You think if they had maintained some sort of strict socialist Marxist economy, that they would have achieved the amazing progress and success they've achieved? No! Look at Eastern Europe. Look at all these former socialist Marxist countries. The reason they have elevated themselves is because they've altered the economy. Okay? They realize that a fundamental socialist Marxist ideology and economy does not work. And those who have fanatically stuck to it, look at the economies. Destroyed. In ruins. Their people are not having the best lives. So, if you have eyes, you will see that they're selling you snake oil. Okay? They're trying to dupe and bamboozle the mass of Grenadian people. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Okay? It's a ruse. They're trying to cut you out of the workforce. They're trying to cut out their competition by telling you, no, don't worry, we'll give you charity. You understand? And they will give you just enough to get by. Okay? And you can come and plead with them for a little, give me a little something here and give me a little something there. And when you get that, it's not going to elevate you. But while they're doing that, guess what? They're advancing. They're doing all the capitalistic things to advance themselves while they keep you behind. And they'll give you all the fancy speeches and tell you how much, oh, socialism and Marxism is the greatest thing on earth. And the reason you're suffering is because of these people over there. Because of those who have and you don't have. And they'll create division in the society. That is how it works. They did that remarkably during the revolution. And guess what? Today, in some respects, that is exactly what they're doing. They're trying to pit the society against each other. That is what is being done. So what they will do, they will use their pretentious mass to have you believe that they're a part of you, when in truth and in fact, they're not. They'll use their socialist Marxist indoctrination to tell you that all your economic problems and all your problems in life are because of society ills and because of people in the mercantile class who are trying to work hard and trying to make things happen. They'll have you blame the middle class who's trying to build Grenada. Okay? The bottom line is this. I know you people are smart people, and you have to understand how things work, how society works, and how the world works. You have to understand that if an economy goes bad, okay, and if the shit hits the fan, the people that are most vulnerable and the ones who are going to feel the most pinch is usually the mass of people, okay? It's usually the people who are struggling and the people who are at middle class trying to maintain. These are the people, okay, who are the ones who are going to have a difficult time. So you have to be careful. You have to understand where you lie in the struggle. As Bob Marley said, you got to know where you lie in the struggle. You have to understand that if reckless decisions are made on your behalf, at the end of the day, these people up here have a certain level of cushion. Okay? Most of them are older people, some of them have a level of cushion. So they could, they could deal with a little bit of hard time. But the people of the middle class who are just maintaining, especially just the lower middle class just maintaining, paying their bills, and then the people who are struggling, okay, these are the people that will be most affected. And that's the majority of people. So keep that in mind.